Prof. Akintoye writes Buhari and says Yoruba people want to officially leave Nigeria over killings by state-sponsored Fulani militias. Renowned historian and leaders of the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination movement, Ilana Omodua, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, says the Yoruba ethnic group is in dire need of its own country out of present Nigeria. Akintoye disclosed this in a letter dated August 6, 2022 to President Muhammadu Buhari. He said the letter was to formally give the president notice of the decision of the overwhelming majority of our Yoruba nation and people to exercise our right to self-determination to have our independent, sovereign country separate from the country Nigeria. It was said it was formally to inform Buhari that we desire to commence the process of self-determination so as to establish our independent sovereign country as soon as possible, hopefully in constructive dialogue with the government of Nigeria. Yeah, hopefully, and constructive dialogue mean it's not happening. Let's just be realistic. And now this is pretty much the same argument going back to colonialism, the grounds as to how Nigeria got independence, how the Yoruba nation, and pretty much how every other big ethnic group, how they were functioning before colonialism and slavery, and thinking to go back to that. And I think we've just got to be realistic with ourselves that we've lost so much. We've lost so much time, lost so much history. And you know what? If you're willing to start again, that is fine. But I think that succession is not just as easy as it looks, because really, personally, as I see it, there are so many unanswered questions as to how Nigeria even exists. I'm talking on paper, politically, independence. On what grounds did we actually get independence? Not just the obvious, because at that time, after World War II, the, United Nations came through. And so, it's like all countries were like, you know what, let's turn a new leaf. We turn to rainbows and sunshine. And so they decided all this. And so obviously with that move, not just Nigeria, only a lot of countries in Africa at the time were pushing for their own independence. Great, fine, fantastic. But you now have to think, okay, post-independence, and 6 years later, we already have a war. And that war is based on the fact that, obviously, there are more in-depth reasons, but the fact that the country cannot stay together because a part wants to leave. And it's the same thing that we're talking about here. But now it's been, how many years since 1960? And you want to leave. So the fact is, personally, as I see it, it's sort of the same thing the Southeast is facing. If there is no unanimous push and pressure for this, it would not be taken as seriously. You cannot have some Yorubas that want to be in Nigeria or some Igbos that want to be in Nigeria and just have Igbos and Yorubas that want to be on their own. It does not work like that. Because really, if you want to go back to the origin of how borders and countries were and who was part of what, then you're talking, what would you say about Benin Republic and what would you say about Cameroon? What are you going to say about these countries that really are part of certain ethnic groups? How would you do that? Personally, I just believe that we might as well just fight to establish what Nigeria should be rather than focus on the fact that Nigeria shouldn't have existed, and on that basis, I'm going to go. Because really, this argument is not going to end. And again, if it's not unanimous, if we can't notice, if a simple child cannot say, you know what, this shows oneness, everyone, I'm talking 99% believes in this, then how is this going to happen? And if anything, before you would want to go, maybe you want to be peaceful about it, but you probably want to sue the Nigerian state of violations against these people since independence, because what this country has been through is crazy. And so now we're talking as a country economically, though you don't fall for the lie that you actually own your resources, because you don't. Looking at how poor the economy is, looking at how you have international and foreign trade investment in the country, you are really looking at a very, very nasty divorce, if you're really going to put it like that. And so whether you want to go with this, your succession that is you, but that is a very long process. And really, now that we're heading towards elections, I find it hard to believe that a lot of Nigerian youth are of the opinion of succession, to be very honest with you. I find it very hard to believe. And really, this whole fight as to what should have been, it's really getting outdated right now. And if anything, we should be asking the questions on how we can actually own our resources, first of all, before we start even thinking of splitting what we don't have ownership of. Because again, it's literally a separation, right? So we really have to ask questions that maybe we are going to be scared to hear, but we really need to ask if Nigeria is independent, because that is a whole other question that we have not even asked. Yes, it may be independent, but on what grounds? Because really, full independent or half independence is no independence at all. And if we truly were independent and we literally just based everything on internal Nigerian stakeholders, I don't really think the process would be as difficult as it should be. But of course, even the people within your vicinity can make things very hard for you. Anyways, I'm just saying that as much as there's a lot of respect to this man and obviously the movement, it seems like they would just have to be one of those groups in history that have just been fighting for a very long time, and something dramatic would happen. I mean, crazy would have to happen for everyone to be unanimous and say, you know what, we're separate. And it's taken too long. We've integrated too well. Even though we're not as united and, there's a lot of messed up things about the country, we have integrated too well. We've mixed so well. I don't know how that is going to work. Because really, I personally think it is a much longer and gruesome process to start the process of succession when you can focus on the energy on building the country. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. And I think for a lot of young people, it's literally just the fact, we know that we have leadership problems, but let's get to a standard that we can. Because I think conversations like this of succession is when you're pretty comfortable. I don't think when you're uncomfortable, you're pushed to do things that you'd not normally do. But what I'm saying is we are so uncomfortable to the fact that we can't even survive. I don't think you have the energy to banner for people to start separating from the country. That takes a lot. And really, Nigerians, or as a whole, we have not really shown the energy to want to fix the country, let alone try to separate. I don't know where that energy is coming from, but it is much more productive to want to fix the country, its leadership, and bring in systems of accountability. Why? Because we're not the first countries to be entangled in such a mess like this. Put what you think about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.